ceremonies and educational symposia on reggae.
Yeah.
Reggae Month is February, when Jamaica invites the world to come to Mecca, Reggae Mecca, and come catch the rhythm like no place else on earth, only in Jamaica.
And that's how I made to give him the glory. I'm delighted. Jano say my passion ignites it. Got the music get me excited. I'm coming like a boss.
Reggae is global. Reggae is everywhere.
Yeah, reggae is my life, you know, because I was reggae ministry, I'm not a walk out saying did or something.
We have something which the world crave even right now. Reggae is internationally known.
For this reggae conversation, we welcome the one and only Marcia Griffiths. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So some people call you the First Lady of Reggae, some people say you're the Queen of Reggae. Are those titles that you like?
I've never given myself any of those titles, you know, but I believe whatever they see me as, or they want to refer to me as, I play my part, I be myself, and I try to live up to all the good expectations. So whatever I'm called, I just enjoy being me.
But you've been one of the most successful reggae singers, male or female. What accounts for your success?
All I can tell you is that I have no doubt that I was given a God-given talent, and I think my portion in this life was to communicate to the world, because from I was a little girl, I always wanted to be of service to mankind. But I wasn't cut out to be a doctor or a nurse, so God could not have chosen nothing better than being in the position to communicate through the medium of music to the four corners of the earth. What else would have been better? To uplift mankind and to unite, you know?
Has it been more difficult for you to communicate and make it in the business because you're a woman?
Well, most definitely. I started out at the time in the early 60s, 1964, when it was strictly male dominated. So as a woman, especially coming in the business as a young woman, you know, you're there, you're vulnerable to all these guys around you, musicians, artists. And it is always hard because you're like a target there as a young girl, and everyone is looking in your direction. So you definitely would have to have some good guidance, you know, and thank God for Bob Andy when I met him. And that's how I know that God wanted me for a purpose, because God knows what would have happened if I never met Bob Andy.
So let's go back to the very beginning then. You mentioned it, 1964, it was Easter Monday, and this is how you...
Whoever don't know that story, them don't born yet. 1964, that's when I walked on a big stage. But prior to that, when I was like 10 years old, I was born in Hannatown, and they were having something at Chocobo Lawn down in the West Kingston there. And my father took all three of us there, three sisters. And I am the last one. So I just brave up myself and said to them that I can sing, you know. And I remember Mr. Edward Seaga, and he lifted me up and put me on the back of a truck. that was the stage, the truck back. And I went up there and I sang my heart out all by myself. And I remember he was passing when election time going on, and he was driving up Oxford Street, and he recognized me, that little girl who came and go on the truck back and sang. And he was waving to me. And all this time I had no vision of what was to come. I knew I loved to sing. I sing in school concerts and, of course, church choir, and that's about it. I never had a clue that this would have been my destiny and my calling. So, but I went on the big stage with Byron Lee, Easter Monday morning, 1964. 3 years after I went on the truck back.
Right. So, and when on this Easter Monday, you were what, about 10
30.
or 9?
No, my birthday is in November. So I was going to be 13.
Okay. And what was the experience like?
Beautiful, because I wasn't shy. I was so confident, and I knew I could do, deliver myself. So I was more anxious to go out there and show everybody what I could do. Right. Rather, I was discovered, of course, by Philip James of the Blues Busters. He came to visit his girlfriend, who was living next door to me on Oxford Street, and he heard me singing with this guy who was living in the same yard. He had a guitar, and I was harmonizing the guy because I love to sing harmony. And then when he heard me singing with Uton, he said, I have to get this little girl on stage. And I sang another song for him. And he said, no, man, I've never heard anybody like this. And he went to Byron, but the show was already planned, and told him that he saw this little girl and he wanted to get her on stage. And Byron said, no way. And he begged, and they took me to the rehearsal, and I rehearsed one song, No Time to Lose, Carla Thomas. And when I went to the rehearsal, nobody wanted to rehearse me because they, waste of time, because the show is already planned. So we call him Bossy. He was affectionately called Bossy, Philip. So he said, don't worry, go up there and get bashful or anything, And I said, don't worry. And when they called me out there that morning, I stood up there waiting for the guitarist, who was Ken Lazarus, to start the song, because that's how the song starts, with the guitar. And like from I come here, nothing, I don't hear a thing. So I didn't know better, so I turned around and looking at them, and honest to God, I heard a voice say, little girl, you better start sing. And I just started to sing, and they better follow me. And let me tell you, when you are emulating a female singer in Jamaica at that time, because we were influenced by American music, and my influence and inspiration was Aretha, Patti LaBelle, all the female singers I loved. So when you are doing one of these songs, you try to emulate them to the best. You cross every T and you dot every I. So if you close your eyes, you would believe that the singer is up there. So that's what I did with that song. So I am singing the melody and I'm singing the harmony at the same time. So the audience have never heard anything like that. So every time I make a slur and I sing the harmony, the place just went up in. So I did that song, and Blues Busters were supposed to come on after me. But he was so overwhelmed that he tore his shirt apart and buttons flying, because he was happy that he proved to them that, this little girl could really manage to. And I remember when I came off, the audience wouldn't stay quiet, and they begged Tony Verti to bring me back. And Tony went out and told him that I didn't have anything else to sing. And them said, bring her back with the same song. But I didn't go back. And that morning, Ronnie Nasrallah, who was managing Byron, wanted to manage me immediately. But the whole plan that I had the morning was Linford Anderson, who was working at RGR. He was supposed to meet me at the Carib Theatre to take me to Studio One. Studio One, and Jew Creed were the two main studios. Those two places was just running Jamaica with music. And I walked from Carib Theatre to Studio One. I never even did an audition. I went straight in the studio. And the only song I knew was the same one that Bossy heard me singing, Wall of Love. And I sent a message to Youtan to ask him to meet me at the studio, and he came up with his guitar. And he was telling me that I mustn't go in there with no nervous thing. And you know what happened? He was the one who got cold feet and started trembling. So Jackie me too said to me, little girl, you know the song? So I said, yes. And I sang the song by myself. And they learned the chords for the song. And that time, you know, is sing the voice and the music go on one time, because it's 2 tracks. And Youtan got really mad and threatening me because I am singing this song. But everybody said, but is you nervous and couldn't sing? Anyway, all of that went by, and Mr. Dodd was so excited and overwhelmed because he said, boy, this little girl can really sing. And I think it was the same time that the Paragons came to Studio One. And that's when I met Bob Andy, because he was a member of the Paragons. And Mr. Dodd asked him to write some songs for me. And to make a long story short, he wrote all the Studio One songs I did, like Melody Life, Tell Me Now, Mark My Word, Truly, Feel Like Jumping. All those songs were written by Bob Andy at Studio One. So Ronnie Nasrallah came to Studio One because he heard that I'm there recording, and he insists that he wanted to manage me. And Mr. Dodd, these were, you know, they were battling together. And my father, of course, he was at Cary because I was not allowed to go anywhere by myself. So he's at Studio One every day. My father was a very good singer. And he became good friends with Mr. Dodd. So he chose for me to stay with Mr. Dodd. So, you know, I was back and forth with Byron Lee. I became a Dragonaires, a vocalist for the band and all that. I was just doing everything.
If we could go back to your childhood, you spoke about your dad. What about your mother?
My mouth?
Yeah.
Well, she was like a little angel. She hardly spoke. She was always in the back doing our chores for us, you know, as a poor family coming up. But my dad was really a good singer.
How many of you were there?
3 sisters and a brother.
And what sort of upbringing was it, living in Hannatown at the time?
Oh, my goodness. We could even go to the gate and look out there. I had the strictest father. I thought it was prison because, to tell you the truth, when my grandmother and my father, I thought they were 2 prison warders. Because we were not bad children. In those days, children are obedient and have manners, and you have to say, you know, thank you, good morning, please, everything that is necessary, because values never change. And we had to exercise that as children.
This year we're celebrating Jamaica 60 years of independence.
Yeah.
And you are, you know, fortunate enough to have seen Jamaica before independence and while we're still getting it together. What are your views on how the society has changed over that time?
Wow, the changes are so rapid, drastic, because I usually say if I was given the opportunity to be young again and relinquish to just forget about my past and the experience I've had in those days, I would choose what I have now. I wouldn't want to be young again. If I had to erase what I've lived and the experience in those days, I would never be young again, because this generation and the generations to come will never see those days. Never. I didn't have to walk in fear. The music was, you know, beautiful. Even if some of the artists, like for example, Derek Morgan and Prince Buster, they used to have verbal, you know, in the music, but it was still decent. Today is a different thing, and I am happy that I could live through all of these changes and the different genres of music, but I really was hoping that it would have, you know, been much better, because as far as I'm concerned, when I hear God call upon the singers and the players of instrument, I know the reason for that is because we are the only ones, we are blessed, and we are the only ones who can send messages through the medium of the music to the four corners of the earth. And that's the greatest thing. When you can communicate to people far and wide, and you can teach them, and you can educate, you can uplift, you can unite. Because people respond to music everywhere. Anyone who does not embrace music has no soul. And once you're alive, you have soul. And the doctor can't touch your soul, but the music can. So it's a blessing when one is chosen to be a part of this music, because you have the opportunity to send, to do so much good. It's our greatest weapon. So when I sit here today and see what's happening in this time, and we know that the music is such a wonderful, great weapon, and we're not utilizing it, we're not using it to the fullest, I am very sad. So there's, you know, I'm just thankful that I've seen that time, and I will just cherish it as long as I live.
As you talk about message in the music, well, one of your biggest songs, Young, Gifted and Black, we see a lot of people playing it again in the Black Lives Matter movement.
That will never go. Music alone shall live under the sun. And that song in particular will always be there because it's relevant all the time. That's why I say the word is the power. It goes out there and it takes unto itself flesh. And it's manifested. Just like Bob Marley, everything he sang, most of the messages that he sent, they are all being manifested today. In this time, we can relate to different songs that Bob did. And many other singers, Freddie McGregor, Jimmy Cliff, Barry Salmon, you know, there's a lot of singers, Dennis Brown. We can relate. This generation can relate because the word stands and it lives forever. So Young, Gifted and Black is a song that has never died.
Young, gifted and black.
What accounts for the quality of the music that you produce? When people bring songs to you, do you have a sort of formula for deciding whether you will put your voice to this or
Most
that?
definitely. For example, when Bob passed 1981, there was this great vacuum in the music industry, as if no one knew which direction the music would have taken. And it was there for a long time until out of nowhere came this hardcore dancehall music that was just dominating the place. And worst of all, the contents, the lyrical contents in the hardcore dancehall music was very negative. And most of it was like a disrespecting woman. And I said to Donovan Jermaine from Penthouse, I said, Jermaine, you know what? We can use the same dancehall rhythm with good lyrics and beautiful melody. And that was in the decade of the 90s. And that's what I did at Penthouse. And it was a beautiful decade for the dancehall music. I did like Fire Burning, Nanny Goat. You know, I did collabs with people like Tony Rebel, Cutty Ranks, Beres Hammond, Buju Banton, you know, just to name a few. And it was all dancehall music, but on a different level, a more classical, you know. But it's dancehall. And these songs are still being played in the dance hall today.
You are known for doing collaborations with a lot of people, about 50 people.
I have
you did?
50 collabs so far.
What inspires you to do these collaborations, especially with the younger people who are coming up?
You know, after having all that experience and the journey, and we see young people getting involved in the music, and we have to pass it on to this generation. And there's no energy to me like the youth. So I associate myself with a lot of the younger, artists like Romy and Virgo and myself. We have a beautiful collab. So far, the 50 that I've done collaborations with, they are, between a mix of DJs and singers. I'm happy about everything so far and the collaborations that I've done. But I love working with the younger people. They are creative and they have ideas, and that energy that you get from them, it just keep you going.
You spent a lot of time at the Studio One with Sir Cox, and then you had some time at Harry J, and then with Penthouse. How did the music change throughout that time?
I left Studio One and I went to Harry J. I think it was 1970. And that's the year we did Young, Gifted and Black. But the music it was just automatic when I heard different things. Because when I went to Harry J, it was never the hardcore time, it was just climbing on a classical level. Like, for example, the same Young, Gifted and Black, they added the strings to it and it was so classical, yet so rootsy and danceable, and everything about it was nice. But it was gradually, I don't know what came into, Toots usually refer to, the guitar that changed the old cheque, that made it into that gave it that turn that they call it reggae music. Because before that time, when it was ska and rocksteady, it was not identified as reggae music. It was a ska music or rocksteady. But the change just came about gradually and everyone accepted it. Then Bob Marley took it to another level, and Toots.
Your experience with Bob Marley, you were a member of the I3 that sang with Bob Marley.
Yeah.
What was that experience like? For the younger people who have heard his music but don't really know him, what was it like working with him? What sort of a man was he?
Well, with no apology, I say this. I have no doubt that Bob Marley was truly sent by the Almighty God to do the work he did on this earth. Because knowing Bob and seeing him in action in his everyday life, and even with the music, you notice that this man is really different from the normal person that you meet. There was something about him. If you saw Bob Marley walking in the busiest airport, you don't know who him is, but something in you would stop and say, I wonder who that guy is. He just stood out. There was something about him. And even the things that he would say on, every day while we're on tour in the bus, you notice something different about this man. I thought this man was so unique. Even some of the ideas that he came up with in the songs that we are doing, it wasn't the regular ooh or ahs that backup singers do. They were completely unusual. And from time to time, I would notice, and I see that this man is really, really unique. And I had no doubt, because he was the one who made me realize that music was not just entertainment for you to just dance. When I started working with Bob and I saw how serious this man took his music, it was his life. Then I realized that this is a serious business. This is a responsibility that you have. And I just make a turn and I say, you know what, I'm going to cease from sending out messages that is not teaching and educating, because all he wanted to do was to send the message to the people, nothing else. He wasn't interested in money or anything. He said it. If money come, money come. Maybe that's why he got so much. Sorry, he wasn't here to enjoy some of it. But his whole life and intention was to feed the people with the word.
How did you get connected to Bob Marley?
When I went to Studio One Easter Monday morning, that's where I met all these great icons. Bob, the only person I knew was Bunny, because he used to hold my hand and drop me off at liquor school, which we call kindergarten, and he would continue on to big school. So he was the only person I knew when I went there that morning. So that's where I met Bob, Peter, Sister Rita, the Heptones, Ken Boo, Delroy Wilson. All of them was in that stable.
Right. And the idea for the I3, you, Rita Barley, Judy Moore, how did that happen?
I was doing some shows at the House of Chen one weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And out of nowhere, we all met up at Studio One. This is like 71, I think. Mr. Dodd invited me and Rita to come and sing some harmonies. And then he invited Judy separately. And all three of us met up there. So we came together, did the harmonies. And when we were leaving, I mentioned to them that I'm performing for the weekend and if they would be interested to come and sing some harmonies. And they said, sure. So we did a quick rundown of some of the songs. And because they were popular songs, they knew them. So the third night, we decided to do a little jam on the stage because everything was so nice. The performances was nice. And we did some sweet inspiration song because they were popular in Jamaica at that time. And the audience loved it and said, why don't you girls form a group? And we said, why not? And you know why I know that coming together with Rita and Judy and myself, it was never a coincidence or any. It was ordained. Because you see, as soon as we came together, three of us formed the group, and I think Brother Blair invited us to Arena to do our first performance, a gospel show. At the particular time that we got together, that was the same time that Bob, Peter, and Bunny were having some problems, some fallout, and it was major. And he heard that we came together and formed a group, and he called us in to do Natty Dread, that single. And we did Natty Dread straight to #1. Then after His Majesty's passing, we went back in with him and did Jah Live. And the rest is history. We became his three little birds and started recording all the albums and touring all over the world with Bob.
Did you enjoy the touring?
I loved it. I really loved it because even while I was working, I am learning so much. I'm experiencing other people's culture. We are all over the world. We are in Japan. We are all over in Europe. And I am learning so much and I'm seeing so much. And at the same time, I'm learning so much from Bob.
At that time, did you realize that you were an ambassador for Jamaica? You were spreading this beautiful music across the world. Did you realize the impact that you were having?
No, not at that time, because I started out as a solo singer. But at no time, if I'm with Bob and Marcia, because we used to work a lot as a duet, or if I'm with I3 with Bob on the road, I make sure that my solo career is always bubbling. If I'm on tour, because we go on tour for 3 months with Bob. But while I'm away for 3 months, I would have maybe a Dreamland playing or a Stepping Out of Babylon. something is always there to keep my solo career alive.
Why was that so important to you to keep the solo
It's
career?
not that it's important. I started out as a solo artist and I never relinquished my solo career, never. So it was just there because I am always in the studio recording, doing solo songs, so I just know that I'm a solo artist, and when I do recordings like at Miss Pottinger, the songs are released and they are being played, and fortunately, people like them and they do very well while I'm away doing something else as a group.
You mentioned Miss Pottinger and
She was one of maybe the only female
producer. At the
producer. Well, you bring me to mention that the only highlight in my career after 57 years in this business is something that money cannot buy. The fact that I can sit and hear, call it maybe 95% of the women in the business, when I sit down and hear them mention that I have been their inspiration and their role model, it's the most beautiful thing that I have accomplished in my journey. This is priceless. But Judy would sometimes tell me that she would come to Sombrero Club and peep through the fence when I'm performing. Because at that time, of course, it was a few female. Hortense Ellis and myself. Phyllis Dillon was at Duke Reed. So it's just a wonderful feeling to know that you have inspired other women. That shows me that my work was not in vain. It motivates me. It gives me more reason to go on. I am seen like a mother figure in the business as an elder, and I try to pass on as much as I can to the younger women in the business.
Your first hit, that was a Feel Like Jumping?
Yeah, 1967.
And that's a few years after you did your first recording.
Yeah.
For people who don't understand the business and think it's an instant hit, how do you get them to understand that it takes time to build your craft and to get the right songs out?
Well, nothing comes overnight that is good, and anything, with longevity. It takes time. It's an investment. It's an investment of time and your talent coming together with other people. Because this song, for example, was done by Bob Andy and Jackie Me Too and myself. Because you see, in those days at Studio One, if an artist is in the studio recording, like for example, Bob Andy is recording I've Got to Go Back Home, Ken Booth and Bunny Wailer singing harmony. It was like a family affair. Everyone, Bob Marley and Bunny Wailer would sing harmony for maybe one and two singers. So everybody would come together as one at that time. So it's not like it's something that just come like that. It's an investment. And you have to love it first, love what you're doing. And once you love what you're doing, everything just flows naturally.
What was your biggest hit, or what has been your biggest hit so far?
Well, undoubtedly Electric Slide.
How did that song, that was written by Bunny Wailer, was
Yes.
it? How did it happen?
That song, I usually say, out of evil, cometh good. Same I3 went to Toronto to do a performance. And of course, it's a male-dominated business. And 9 out of 10 times you go and you perform, it's pure hard luck story. For a woman, when they would maybe find some money to pay the man, they give you a story. Because they feel like we are we're soft and we're weak and we'll just accept it. And we had no manager at the time. So each of us got $700 Canadian. And I...
$700?
700 Canadian. And the following day after the show, I was walking downtown in Toronto And I went to the store and I saw this rhythm box. It's like a keyboard. And I started fiddling around with it and I loved it immediately. It had every beat and every sound, a wire, name it. And I just bought that keyboard. I think it was 300 and something Canadian dollars. And I bought it and I took it home and I discovered, the more I played it, is the more I discovered sound. And because Bonnie and I go way back, he was visiting me the night when I showed him the keyboard and I said, Bonnie, listen to this. And I played the repeater sound. It's a piano, but it repeat with a beat like a poof, puff, poof. That was the foundation of the song coming together. And Bonnie put that beat with the repeater sound and we recorded on the cassette and adding some other little things from the same keyboard. And he took it to Portland, came back the following day. Everything was so spontaneous. We never sleep or sit on anything. He came back the following day with the song on the rhythm. And we called in Sly and Robbie to overdub on the same rhythm. And he used the same rhythm box to overdub 10 keyboard parts. So that little box was amazing. And we went in the studio and I learned the song and I voiced it. And it was released immediately, just before Christmas, and it went to #1 in December. That's how the song came about.
And the dance?
Well, the dance never developed until 1989 in Washington, D.C.
That's what, about
when
6 years
after? When the song was released here in Jamaica, they had the moonwalk, like the Michael Jackson, that slide thing. That's what they were doing here. But it was 1989 in D.C. that I was on Sunsplash tour on the West Coast, and Dr. Dredd called me from Ras Records and was telling me what was taking place in Washington. So by the time the tour reached Washington, I was forced to learn the dance and perform it on stage. That's how much it was in demand. And it was summertime, of course. So everybody who came from different parts of the States to visit took a copy of the song back to their hometown. And that song just went wild.
You keep talking about things happening and happening for the reason. It's not spontaneous. It's not a coincidence. Are you a spiritual person?
Very much.
Yeah.
I think I was born like that. And the way we were, the way we grew up, we never had a choice to detour. My parents, we lived in a Christian home. And it's not about going to church, because them say, nearer to church, farther from God. So it's not about going to church, because we are in our homes, but we have to pray. And we used to, all three girls, we would just sing gospel songs and harmonize each other. So I embraced righteousness from I was conscious. I remember I went to the church and they had a Easter play. And I don't know who was playing Jesus. And I am a little girl, maybe about 6 or 7. And I cried the whole time because I said I want to go around there and see Jesus. I never forget that. So I am happy that I was grown in a, raised in a, with a set of parents who were conscious and righteousness was their priority. When we had nothing to eat, the love as a family that we had and that bond full everybody's belly. We were just happy.
Was it difficult to maintain your spirituality
No,
in the music?
No. Because I saw where it was working for me in my life even today. The more I became conscious and aware, And it's all about liberty. It's not about hair or what you know, how you look. It's about liberty. If you, a lot of times when people ask me about myself, I can only say it's a reflection from what is inside. Because no matter what you eat or what you're wearing, and you're not cleaning thoughts on the inside, then the reflection is not going to be good. So it works for me even in my travels. I remember even on tour with Bob, I picked up even from before the shooting. You see, once you're aware and you live good and you try to serve God, because none of us perfect. We are all sinners and fall short. But at least we try to live up. And I remember I just feel things. Things come to me, and sometimes I'm so afraid because before I know it, it come to pass. And I would pray and ask God to reverse whatever it is that I cannot see, because I feel something, it just comes over me, and I know that something is brewing that I wouldn't like to see manifest. So I just pray on it. Even with the shooting with Bob, I felt it from my head to my toes. And even while we were on tour, Neville Garrick and some of the members, they would get up and ask, what a vision last night. Because I see things all the time.
When you're not doing music, what do you enjoy doing?
In the kitchen.
Oh.
A lot of people don't relate that. Looking at me, they wouldn't imagine that I'm a person who loves the kitchen. But people who know me knows that that's my, not first love, but I love to be in the kitchen. I love to cook. I love to create things. And when I get to this age, I am very careful of the things I put in my body. So you have to try and eat right. So when I'm at home, I try to eat healthy, a lot of vegetables and, you know, salmon and things like that. I love that. But if my children desire certain things, I will do it for them. Well, of course, from a little girl, I never know what it is to eat ham or bacon, because my parents are Seventh-day Adventists. So when I used to smell that from other people, we have to just smell it and just wish for it. Never. And
So-
up until this day, I grew up not eating those things.
So how many children do you have?
I have 3 sons.
Are any of them following you into the music?
They're all musically inclined. But I, as a parent from years ago, I insisted when they were younger to get an education first before they, you know, everybody trying to just come in, whether you call or not. I didn't encourage that.
Why not?
No, they have to get education. They have to be able to read contracts and fine prints, because we fall in that trap on our way in this music. You know, not that I used to sign a lot of contracts, but if I had someone who was knowledgeable and a professional person to take care of the business, things would have been much better for me. So I didn't want my children to go that direction, to go that route. My second son, he sings with me on stage. He does all the collab that I would do with maybe Beres, Davil. He does that part. And my first son, you can see him on YouTube, The Chemist. They're all producers, and they're all musically inclined.
The state of reggae music today, are you happy with how things are going generally with the music?
Not 100%. I'm happy for the young generation who are a part of the music, but I still, as an elder in this thing, I still know that you have to come into this thing with a purpose. You have to have a real good cause. If you are called, then you will recognize what your calling is for and make positive contribution to uplift, because that's what the music is all about. I am not happy because the message is ignored. And in a time like this, it's a perilous time we're living in. Perilous time, and this is, I would say, revelation time. These are the last days. So we are calling upon this generation to take the music more serious and know that this is all we have. This is our weapon. So we see that people relate to music everywhere. So this generation just need to be more aware to put more positive message in the music.
Do you have a favorite out of your Marcia Griffiths collection? Do you have some
No.
songs that are just mean so much more to you than others?
I cannot think of a favorite because I have a few songs. The ones that relates to the woman, like a song like Survival, that's one of my favorite songs because a lot of women relate to that song because of experience that they have had in their lives with men or people in general, you know, who treat you and badly and abuse you. That song is one of the songs who, you know, that woman relates to. That could be one of my favorite songs.
Yeah. You say you'll sing as long as you live.
Most definitely.
How do you keep the Marcia Griffiths brand alive and relevant? How have you been able to achieve that?
Well, the relevance comes with association with the younger generation. And you have to keep up with the times. You know, not that you are going to do anything. I come too far and to be a follower now. I'm not going to follow to be in anything because I've been there, done that, and I've seen it all. So I would just continue to work with, you know, like for example, I'm doing some work with Shane Brown now. I'm always in the studio with Beres. These are some people that I enjoy working with. I have different people who write songs for me, and Beres is one of the main songwriters I have. Freddie McGregor write, and I'm there with them in the studio quite often, working, creating, recording, doing songs.
You have new work coming out soon?
Oh, yes.
A preview?
Most definitely. Well, I have an album on Tad's label coming out soon. And, boy, I hear Beres have some bad rhythm right now. And I'm getting ready to voice some of those rhythms.
Some people say this time with the COVID and the lockdown and the mental stress has been inspirational for some creative people. Has it been that way for you?
Well, I try not to even, you know, make that get me down, you know, because as I said earlier, these are some perilous times we're living in. The only thing that will surprise me now is something good. But it can't be any worse. But as long as you stay focused, sometimes being locked in or under lockdown, you get more time to yourself and you can think and you can create more. But even if it's not locked down, it's part of you to do these things. You know, and I like to be physically with the people that I work with. You know, one of my favorite songwriters too as a woman is Tanya Stevens. I really love the way Tanya writes, and you know, I love everything about her, what she does with the music, you know. And Alaine write one of my nicest songs called Automatic. You know, I love to explore musically with different artists and see what, you know, because variety is the spice of life. And as long as you have a variety of songs or whatever you're doing, you don't know who might like what. And where the music is concerned right now, it's not male dominated no more. And I am thankful. I could pat myself on my shoulder for that. Because, you know, we have a little of everything. As I always say, a little spice, a little coffee, a little sugar. The ingredients is good.
Yes. Are you surprised by the way that people across the world have gravitated to our reggae?
No, because I'm not surprised because I recognize from in the 70s, as I was mentioning earlier about Bob Marley, I recognize that this man was here for a purpose and he was sent by God. When I saw the response, we walked on stage in Sweden. This was our first experience of a huge, massive audience, a multitude of people. We have never seen that. It was like 80,000 for the first time we are seeing that amount of people. Like 10,000 or 20,000 paraplegics were in the front in their wheelchair. No, these people don't speak no English, but they are lined up in the front, and all of them come to hear and to see this man, to hear. It's just the soul. Maybe they don't understand what he's saying, but wherever in the world there was and they're hearing this man on the radio, something connect. Something connect from his music to their soul. I didn't know that there was something about this man. I was so shocked when I walked out there that the first thing that I could close my eyes and say, I said, Father, please, if it's even one from this congregation today, let them leave here and their souls are touched. Because I know that this is a serious business, because Bob don't show we say, yes, this is not about entertainment. Mm-hmm. That's just a small fraction of the whole thing. But the message was what he wanted to get across. So I am not surprised. Never. You know, I knew, I was expecting. Look at Japan. When we went to Japan for the first time, that is when the seeds were sown. And I made a vow that I would never return to Japan because it's too far. Mm-hmm. But because I'm on a mission from God, through the music, I went back. And I was most pleasantly surprised when I saw that the seeds that we had sown then had finally grown. Beautiful. I saw everybody with dreads, and they were more conscious, they were more aware, and Bob work was never in vain.
So you talk about Bob Marley, but if I could get a comment from you on the other Bob Andy, and his contribution and his role. Where would you put him in terms of the development of Jamaican music?
Bob Andy was one of the most prolific songwriters we have. He wrote from inside experience. And he was always there from in the 60s. Well, we all passed through the stable of the Studio One. That's where we all graduate, Studio One. So even in that stable, Bob Andy was writing. You know what is amazing? Mr. Dodd was able to recognize any artist that would make it big. It's just two people I know like that, Chris Blackwell and Mr. Dodd. I don't know what it is, but they can recognize any artist that is going to boss, as we call it. They could identify them. And from Bob Andy recorded the first song there, Mr. Dodd said, this guy is going to really make it big.
How many songs did he write for you?
More than the Studio One songs, because he wrote a couple songs while I was at Miss Pottinger. So overall, maybe about 12. Around 12 songs.
And many of them became hits.
Yes. Most of the songs that he gave me to sing was what he was saying, but he gave them to me that I could sing them, you know. Lots of the songs, even the songs he did, like one of his songs, Desperate Lover, is my favorite song. He wrote that song for me when I left for Germany. I went to Germany for a little while, and while I was gone, he wrote that song. And when I came back, I heard the song, and that song just connected to me. And it's a song that everybody, and Jackie me too took a solo in that song. He could never repeat it. Music for me at that time, I could recognize the God in the music, you know, because it touches you. When I think about the musicians from Studio One, like the Scatterlights, Jackie Me Too, Lloyd Nibs, and all of those, the horn section, Roland, Alfonso, Tommy McCook, I think we are just blessed that that's why you asked earlier about, you know, the years gone by. I would never give it up and those memories, because I think it's a blessing to have known some of these great icons. And I was talking to someone just a couple days ago on Bob's birthday. It is very important for us to teach this generation in the schools. I mean, a few schools teach about Bob Marley and where the music is coming from. They should know the foundation of the music and where the music is coming from.
Right.
It didn't just come about like this.
And what should they know about Marcia Griffiths and her contribution?
I'm just here doing my part, and as I said, I shall sing as long as I live. And the music speaks for itself. And I thank God that He has preserved me, that I can live to see or to share 3 generations. When I perform on stage with Skip Marley, who is Bob's grandson, I am so overwhelmed because I was there with the father and the children, and now I'm performing same one with his grandson. So I am thankful that God has preserved me, and there's no way I would trade anything. I'm happy where I am, and I thank God for the age. You know, a lot of my friends will never get the privilege to maybe see my age. So I am truly thankful for my old school, which is a good school. As Barry Salmon says, not old school, it's the good school. And you have to be blessed to be a part of the good school.
Marcia Griffiths, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Hello, Reggae World. My name is Tahira Elizabeth. Special shout out to Miss Judy Mowat. Big ups to JARIA, especially Miss Mary Isaacs. This next song is called See You Never, and it's by yours truly.
When I think of all the times you let me down, I know I no longer want to be around. You used to call me all the time when we started things. I had butterflies and everything, but now we've settled down. I'm off your mind. I used to tell myself it's fine, it don't mean anything, just a honeymoon phase ending. Yeah, he still loves you, girl. Don't lose your mind. Then you started switching up on things you did, yeah, messing around, hiding text, and I got to thinking, girl, don't wait no more, 'cause you're only thinking of yourself. You just a play around with my head, yeah. I can tell you I am out that door. I will wait no more, though I miss us from before. I thought I'd love you, love you, love you for life. I thought you'd love me, love me, love me for life. You used to say, come back with line, is our private thing. Highway driving, be shanty, yeah. Held my hand to show that you were mine. But now you're under a vibe. I don't mean anything, no phone call, WhatsApp, not a thing. You must think I won't leave you behind, 'cause now you're kicking it with your friends, yeah. You now will not mess, no. Baby, we were supposed to rule the world. You just put me upon a shelf, but I ain't no second best, no. See you never, I am out that door. I will wait no more, though I miss us from before. I thought I'd love you, love you, love you for life. I thought you'd love me, love me, love me for life. I will wait no more, though I miss us from before. I thought I'd love you, love you, love you for life. I thought you'd love me, love me, love me for life.
Sitting in the morning sun and watching all them birds passing by. Oh, how sweet they sing, and oh, how much I wish that I could fly. And I tried, oh Lord, I tried. I said I tried, yes. And I really tried, but I got to pick myself up and dust myself off, and I had to start all over. Every time I start all over, I pick myself up and I dust myself off, and I had to start all over. Every time I start all over, sitting in the midday sun and wondering where my meal is coming from. Oh, I'm so hungry, oh. I'm so hungry, oh. And after working so hard, yeah. Oh Lord, I tried. You know I tried. Yes, I really tried. Yeah, I try. But I got to pick myself up and dust myself off. And I had to start all over. Every time I start all over. Said I pick myself up and dust myself off. I had to start all over. Every time I start all over. I'm sitting in the evening sun and watching them same birds pass us by. There they go. And as I sit here, I'm wondering, I'm waiting for the time for me to fly. Oh, and I tried, Lord. Jaffe had to try. Said I tried. And I really tried. Oh, I got to pick myself up and dust myself off. And I had to start all over. Every time I start all over. Said I pick myself off the ground and I turn myself all around. I had to start all over. Every time. Ladies and gentlemen, Elijah. Fine. I've been wasting time and it's been so long and I've been find out I've wasted too much time. I got to pick up myself, oh Lord, and dust myself. Oh God, I got to start all over again. Oh Lord, I got to pick up myself, pick myself up and dust myself off. Start all over again. Give thanks, Reggae Month. Give thanks, Revolution. My name is Jafrican. Jahfrican. Follow me on all social media channels. Big up my friend them. My drummer Kenil, my Alex, Spangy, the guitarist them, Elijah, Javan, Evan, aka Yellow, Sharida, and Faith. These are all old friends of mine. Long journey I had, and if it wasn't for people like them, I wouldn't be here today. So this next track is called Old Friend. Yeah, you see sometimes that friend from root is the one first to tell you the truth. Yellow, you bail me out more than a dozen times. I help you solve your cases, my friend. All Kenil. He may not be blood brother, his sister not my cousin. My Lex is more family to me than brethren. Spanky, what a friend in you I have. Oh, what a friend in you I have, old friend. Yeah, if I don't see you in years, you're in my heart or you're in my prayers, old friend. And na 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 my. Oh na na na. Oh na 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 na. When it's over, we'll all inside, but I'll be surely there by your side. Me have to say you're great. Now if it be your birthday, we celebrate. Happy for every level where you elevate. Me make a mistake, you tell me straight. Oh, what a friend in you I have. I think you should know my old friend. Forever a real G. more than a million miles away.
I will run to you.
I run to you. I trust you with my life. All the while you won't stab me in the back with a knife. You will never like that at that time. We may disagree, never will fight. Oh, my friend, I love you. What a friend in you I have. Oh, what a friend in you I have. Oh, friend. Oh, forever a real G. And if I don't even see you forever, Uncle Noel, you're in my prayers, old friend. Ah, na 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 na. Oh, na 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 na, my best friend. Oh, na 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 na, old friend. Na 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 na, my best friend. Oh, na 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 na, my best friend. Oh, na 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 na, my old friend. Never. Oh, yeah, me now wait till I got to tell you me rate you. Oh, Reggae Month, I got to tell you, I got to tell you that I got to tell you, you want to know. Jaffy, I can tell you from me heart to me rate you. I love you. My name is Jaffican, follow me everywhere, Jaffican music.
Oh na 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 na, my best friend. Oh na 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 na, old friend.
This is Reggae Wednesdays. We pay ode to our ancestors and to the revolutionary spirit of a music that is the heartbeat of Jamaica. Ladies and gentlemen, reggae music family, good evening to everyone locked in to this amazing evening. Welcome to the second staging of Reggae Wednesdays for 2021. My name is Debbie Bissoon, and it is an honor to take this ride with you. Please show your appreciation for the Aquaba drummers, led by master drummer Mr. Philip Supersad, giving us the sounds of Naya Bingy. Let me hear it, let me hear it. I'm hearing it through the screens. Lovely. They were followed by a young woman whose rebellion comes out of her expression as a free-spirited artist with a smooth, rich voice that gives us a modern-day soul music with contemporary attitudes and sensibilities. The one, the only, the amazing Tahira Elizabeth. Give it up for her, please. Woo! Awesome. And the artist who has been surrounded by music all his life, Jafrican, is heavily influenced by the ancestral rhythms of Kumina and blends his African heritage with modern sounds, giving us an Afrobeat artfully blended with dancehall. It's only right that we support our musical ambassadors, Burning Spear, Jimmy Cliff, Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, Bunny Wailer, Rita Marley, and Marcia Griffiths, along with many others who brought reggae music to the world stage. Reggae Wednesdays is produced and powered by the Jamaica Reggae Industry Association through the kind sponsorship of the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, the Ministry of Tourism, Chase Fund, Starlight, JTB, TEF, CPTC, Java, JCDC, Reggaeville, Rhythm Agency, Surf for Reggae, and the Reggae Festival Guide. Also M1 Production and Creation Foods. Thank you all so much. Tonight is a reggae-lution. Now, reggae music originated as a kind of protest against the system, a kind of political form of protest and contestation in Jamaican life. With an ode to Bob Marley, help me welcome a thriving photographer and multifaceted artist who came out on the music scene as a rebellion herself with the energy of her ancestors. Ladies and gentlemen, get up out of your seats right now and welcome Joby J.
Good night, everybody. office, in a government yard, entrenched out. Oh, by observing the hypocrites, I stay put, mingle with the good people we meet. Good friends we have and good friends we've lost all along the way. In this great future, you can't forget your past. So dry your tears, I say, I say, I say. No man, no cry. No woman, no cry. No woman, no woman. No man, no cry. No woman, no cry. Said I remember when we used to sit in a government yard, entrenched out, and Georgie would make the firelight, and it be logwood burning, burning, burning through the night. Then we would drink cornmeal porridge, of which I'd share with you, and you, and you, and you. My feet is my only carriage, so I got to push on through. Everything is gonna be, everything is gonna be alright. Everything is gonna be alright. Every little thing is gonna be. Everything is gonna be. Everything is gonna be alright. Everything is gonna be alright. Everything is gonna be alright. No woman, no cry. Don't shed no tears. No woman, no cry. Oh, my little darling, don't shed no tears. No woman, no cry. No woman, no cry. No, no, no. No woman, no cry. No woman, no woman. No woman, no cry. No woman, no cry. This song is dedicated to all the women, all the queens, all the big girl them. Ooh, big girl thing. I'm in a know thing. Me say I'm sorry if you never get for treat me like you want to treat me. Me nah go make you take your dirty foot and walk over me. That's a toy for you to treat how you please. Use me, abuse me, and then you leave. I'm a big girl strong bones, a mature mind, and yes, a girl that knows that karma is a thing, so I will leave it be. Man, I go stress myself and take the word from thee. Big girl sing, say me name and a laughing thing, say me name and a ramping thing. Eventually your true colors will show. I mean I rough because you are. If all you do is waste my time, no add no value to my life. Me say me have to be selective with my space and my energy. Me say me sorry if you never get to treat me like you want to treat me. Me nah gonna make you take your dirty foot and walk over me. I'm not a toy for you to treat how you please. Use me, abuse me, and then you leave. I'm a big girl now, thick skin, strong bones. I'm a mature mind, and yes, a girl that knows that karma is a thing, so I will leave it be. Man, I go stress myself and take the word from the big girl thing. Surrender in and a laughing thing. Surrender in and a ramping thing. Eventually, I mean, I rough to cut you off. If all you do is waste my time, no add no value to my life. I feel be selective in my space and my energy. Sorry if you never get to tell me more lies, or come to me with fake tears in your eyes. Me must say I've done mark on my forehead. Think me I got change my mind, cause you say you're sorry. I loved you, yes, but I love me more. I know my worth, I know there's better things in store. So karma is a thing, I'm gonna leave it. Man, I gotta stress myself over no man. Big girl thing, Samina in and a laughing thing, Samina in and a ramping thing. Eventually, I mean I ramp to cut you off. If all you do is waste my time, no add no value to my life. I feel be selected. I feel be selective with my space and my energy. I feel be selective with my space and my energy. I feel be selective with my space and my energy. I feel be selective with my space. Big girl thing, I'm in and all laughing thing. I'm in and all ramping thing. Eventually, I mean I ramp to cut you off. If all you do is waste time, no add no value to my life. I feel be selected.
Long live the legendary Bob Marley. Now, reggae music is love. Reggae music gives hope. Reggae music has changed the lives of millions across the world, whether it is in the words of peace and love or spreading the message of Rastafari with a gift of spirituality that connects us to the motherland. Reggae lovers worldwide, thank you for sharing with us from your own spaces, your homes, as we dedicate this month of February to our heartbeat, reggae. And if you want to know more about the reggae activities for Reggae Month, take a look at this.
Jamaica, land of wood and water, Rastafari and reggae. Jamaica's rich contribution to global music heritage cannot be ignored or brushed aside, producing no less than 6 widely recognized musical genres and hundreds of top-class musicians and artists. Arguably, some of our most famous sons of reggae hail from rural Jamaica, like Bob Marley, Bunny Wailer, Burning Spear, and Cocoa Tea. From Morant Bay in St. Thomas to Negril in Westmoreland, Jamaica continues to overflow with musical genius and talent. Indeed, whether in the cool hills of 9 Mile St. Anne, Mucka Clarendon, or Mandeville, Manchester, Jamaica's heartbeat is in its music.
Son of one of Jamaica's musical icons, it is no surprise that our next act entered the music scene with great songwriting and performance skills. Help me welcome to the Reggae Wednesdays stage, Tijan.
Yeah. Where is the most time, China? Yeah. Word is the lamb, you know? Conquering lion, yeah? Oh, Jah give you my heart and soul, and I don't need another reason. Said I've waited patiently. I need my healing, cause perilous times said if I ever needed you, oh, that I should have called on you. You tell me feel like mustard seed move mountain, and whosoever will can sip the fountain. Tell me no iniquity never prosper, never done me back on you from me say Rasta. Say from me obey your laws and your words, you will give me anything me ask for. And while me attack the tribulation and the verge, beg you bring me out of the disaster. Tell me for seek if me want for fun. All the faith me say me take my time. Fill me heart, me beg you clear my mind. I'm willing for work even overtime. Oh, Jah give you my and I don't need another reason. Said I've waited patiently. I need my healing, cause perilous times said if I ever needed you, oh, that I should have called on you. Anoint me from the crown of my head, have mercy on my soul, I beg you please, Jaja. Nothing no impossible, not for you, Jaja. Come and see you resurrect on the dead. And just a servant coming to you with a little prayer. Down on my knees, me need your help. Any problem when me have to you, me run for cover. You tell me for seek if me want for find. Me hold the faith, me say me take my time. Fill me heart, me beg you clear my mind. Me willing for work even overtime. Oh, Jah give you my heart and I don't need another reason. Said I've waited patiently. I need my healing, cause perilous times said if I ever needed you, oh, that I should have called on you. Praise the Most High, Rastafari, you know, give thanks and praise, you know. Forever humble servant unto the Most High Creator. Yeah, servant of righteousness. Give thanks to the giver of life for the giving of life. Yeah, give thanks, Jah. Yeah, I read. Big up the Orthodox band, you know.
It's the last year.
Say the first. I know no white man pan no shit. Make me tell you this. Them a slavery from the days of Egypt, and now today we there and we still not feel it. Joshua take me through the wilderness and the pagans feel it. Treading with the Ark of the Covenant for Lashers and the Levites keep it. Well by the sweat of me brow, me know say that me have been yammer. Them come fi suffer the all away from A to Z. These are the signs of the time done. No we talk got dread fox and him old bird of him nurse. Nowhere to rest my hand. All rivers come past it, Euphrates to Ethiopia. And that it saying at the scripture. Holy Abyssinia, Abyssinia. All rivers come past it, Euphrates, right down to Ethiopia. And that it saying at the scripture. Holy Abyssinia, Abyssinia. Can't trick me with them 666. With them new ID and them coming with them biometrics. Deceive you with them polls and them analytics. It no matter if you vote, cause everything fixed. And the new passport, it carry the microchip. Matter all at the board, the wine on them busy a sip. While the reptilian them busy sucking blood like ticks. Embassy of Jerusalem, that's how them want to see it. Me say something now go happen and them can feel it. Whole world I go wonder at the beast that is it. Lamentation fulfill, Jeremiah don't seal it. Praise the far Macon and them can't dismantle this. All rivers come past it, Euphrates, right down to Ethiopia. And that it saying at the scripture. Holy, holy, holy. All rivers come past it, Euphrates, right down to Ethiopia. And that it saying at the scripture. Holy Abyssinia, Abyssinia. Long time ago. Long time. I said long time ago. No Christopher Columbus by no ship. Make me tell you this. In there. Yes, Rastafari. Yeah, ready to be praised. Yeah, that one named Divine Majesty, you know. Shook. Yeah, on the Richter, you know.
Selassie.
Yeah. Oh, that one they gonna know my daddy. Well, if I never future, woulda never there. Zanovich build the rhythm and I watch pressure. Only for sleepless night and no little prayer. Enough demon come bound, but we are the slayer. Say man study the prophecy down to the wire. Isa never show no mercy check. Obadiah Micah come one year as on Hezekiah. Cause him vision the fall of Samaria. Cause he worship false God down in Judea. He must get banished by the high priest and Messiah. Just fit tell the truth. Israel I go get conquer. Fi know when me attack you have to check scripture. Don't prepare rest a table amongst my enemies. Still I gotta thank you. Oh, where you gonna run to? Repatriation I must know far cool. Oh no, Solomon gonna run to the divine majesty. The devil gets through. Come through. Oh, where you gonna run to? Repatriation.
Yeah, yeah, me. Hey, and me say lightning and thunder and earthquake and lava. The fire arise getting higher and higher. Words of Mosiah say trust the Most High, the Messiah in Zion, conquering lion. Ooh. The I am who I am, tough like a iron. We chad into Zion. Here through the wire, things up to the wire. Fire, watch you wire. Level, alright. I may say where to start. Well, firstly, this ain't for the faint of heart. You don't need no fear for this train of thought. Cause if I fear, then I dare when the danger start. You become an actor, playing a part. I know them strain your thoughts, pulling your strings like them playing a harp. Head razor sharp, teeth razor sharp. Flesh your tear that off. I hope your ear my talk. We have to make a walk, to go make a back, to create a spark, blaze a star. Lightning, thunder, earthquake, a cloud. And I am in the king does a shake you. And the beast has said nature fi fall. Lightning punch up, sometime name a fi call. There'll always be drought, but the rain a fi fall. And I know Babylon rain a fi fall. Thunder
yeah. Come and flip up with that demon spirit. Like you think said dirty Babylon. Demon legend. Lean back and sit back up a ganja tea and trip it. When the king has slew the beast, clean and vivid. Even though the earth is for the big and rigid, mankind will get so ugly and wicked. 400 years of suffering me reach that limit. But me never hear the pastor them a preach and sing it. Babylon rocking we off in silence. Go down Babylon bust a silent prayer. Emperor Selassie have a right empire. Deep in the dark him have a brightest fire. Lead them all day. Lead them all day. The powers of Rastafari, I never leave you no way.
They never leave you. Rastafari live.
Still I see I.
The first.
Yes, I.
A balance and order, my brother. Majesty.
Social instance.
Hey, JARIA, we are warrior.
Ready? Yeah. Well, the judgment of the Most High is a sure thing, eh? Regardless of what a man might think. It's good to live in the will of the Most High Creator, Elohim, you know? Remember the covenant of the rainbow covenant, you know? The book of Genesis, eh? Well, after warning come judgment. Said after warning come judgment. Said after warning come judgment. Me no come with no smooth talk and no Shakespeare. King James the part what translate round here. Just prepare a table with me. Enemy front of me and me so still never got no fear. Demon worship as the judgment near. Remember the eagle, the dragon and the bear. Me say whole nation them busy as now. And I chat on them never take time to prepare. Oh what a day when the moon it start triple. Darkness everywhere when they look up and see no sun. A rainbow covenant that mean there'll be no more flow. I bring stone and fire when this judgment come. Now follow friend and company when them start gears. If them not take no talk then you part ways. No degrade yourself true you want make it. If Jah no bless it then you don't forget it. We've been through various pathways. Still the lion and the lamb I get all praise. False ear and false nails. Can't know who really in these days. Oh what a day when the moon it start triple. Darkness everywhere when they look up and see no sun. A rainbow covenant that mean there'll be no more flow. I bring stone and fire when this judgment come. Oh what a day when the moon it start triple. Darkness everywhere when they look up and see no sun. A rainbow covenant that mean there'll be no more flow. I bring stone and fire when this judgment come. And after warning comes judgment. Said after warning comes judgment. Said after warning comes judgment. I bring stone and fire. 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 Fire, 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 fire. Brimstone and fire, fire.
Rastafari.
Selassie.
One of the most powerful voices of Jamaica's next generation. This Ghetto Youths artist has performed at Reggae on the River and major tours across North America, Europe, and Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, make welcome the artist from 9 Mile, Black Am I.
Natty dreadlocks, live it out. High survivors.
upon road still red. Even if I'm me alone, me now be no freaking bed. Even if I'm me alone, only eat honest bread. Even if I'm me alone. What's this? Step on a side, me up to look a fortnight. Me don't plan fi fast 40 day, 40 night. I won't know me I do without the GPS light. I fi keep water on, man I fi smell right. A big things when the boss man I am. Next thing, me want fire me this time thing. And this job ya require me. Always I work and see claim say ya lie me. Still be a living trade. Even if I'm me alone, the fire pan road still red. Even if I'm me alone, hustling though the sun red. Even if I'm me alone, I'll only eat honest bread. Even if I'm me alone. The rich quick mentality must up a set of youth. Society no care, them coulda have some better youth. Blame them now go work, we have to find another route. Finger pointing verse, I can't tell who was speaking soon. A rocking boat when the wave get tidal. Take some precaution unless you're suicidal. My generation start a revival. I forward to teach you them survival. As a living trade, even if I'm me alone, the fire pan road still red. Even if I'm me alone, me not be no freaking bed. Even if I'm me alone, I'll only eat honest bread. Even if I'm me alone. So come Rastafari children, wake up, arise Rastafari children, rise up, live Rastafari children, live up, love Rastafari children, heights up, he'll be a living dread, even if I'm me alone, the fire pan road still red, even if I'm me alone, hustling though the sun red, even if I'm me alone, I'll only eat honest bread, even if I'm me alone. Na 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 yeah. Na 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 na. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Sing with me now. Na 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 na. Na 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 yeah. Na 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 na. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Greetings in the world in the name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I the First, Jah Rastafari. Sing. Well, this one is called King of Kings. He's worthy to be praised. He's more than just a face. Think all. What's the Rastafari, the highest name. Shout him King of Kings. Shout him King of Kings. And never change, he remain the same. Oh, what a joy it brings. Oh, what a joy it brings. Manifestation, I behold the Holy Son. Return as King of Kings, it's a will, his work is done. From the tribe of Judah, the chosen one come. Selassie I the first is like unto none. Behold, unto thee a child is born. The sun rise again, another does turn to dawn. Chosen few will give thanks, others will carry on. To go with them still, cause them no far too gone. Rastafari the highest name. Shout him King of Kings. Shout him King of Kings. Never change, he remain the same. What a joy it brings. What a joy it brings. Have no fear, Jah
work in miraculous ways. So unfair Babylon and them unscrupulous ways. Try your tears, why worry when you can just pray? Don't be scared to sing and shout the highest praise. I thought now you're being and burn all evil meant. Tell them know what's me locks when this is more than jet. To preserve life, Hail King Selassie at the end. I serve the conquering lion man that's only live by Rastafari the highest name. Shout him King of Kings. Shout him King of Kings. Never change, he remain the same. What a joy it brings. What a joy it brings. And if you would just call, and shall we respond with urgency, with a big or small, it doesn't matter what you burden me. His mercy is for all, inhabiting the land and sea. His works is so wondrous. View the world and see. Watch this. Rastafari the highest name. Shout him King of Kings. Shout him King of Kings. Never change, he remain the same. What a joy it brings. What a joy it brings. He's worthy to be praised. Jah is more than just a face. He's worthy to be praised. I says, how y'all feeling? Okay, thank you. Well, this next song we're about to play is called Fire Burning. You know what I mean? Go catch it now. Fire! This one is hot. The fire hot. Hot like a sauna. Light it up now. Tinkle. Oh, go. Fire burning everywhere. No matter where them run, them can't get away. Fire burning everywhere. All evil man of fear scatter away, Lord. Burning everywhere. Where the fire burning in the atmosphere is just blazing everywhere. No matter where them run, them can't get away, Lord. Can't say and melt much less evil man. This fire is felt over every land. Society we're controlled by the Vatican. Atomic bomb to carry out them satanic plan. Me born Babylon, them think a regular police. I'll blow them apart, but me know them are the least. Me born the 666, that's a the mark of the beast. Them not giving no justice and them not get no peace. Fire burning everywhere. No matter where them run, them can't get away. Fire burning everywhere. All evil man of fear scatter away, Lord. Burning everywhere. Where the fire burning in the atmosphere is just burning everywhere. No matter where them run, a sticker than the might get rid of Obia man. Carry go bring come get bone and all vagabond. Fire burn the system where fight taxi man. Police brutality or them feel of man. At a fire burn you up because of badness you a talk. I just a little juggle in them don't want to run. When fire burn the man them when no one look a walk. And when Friday come them a set and a look a buck. Fire burning everywhere. No matter where them run them can't get away. Fire burning everywhere. All evil man of fear scatter away, Lord. Burning everywhere. When the fire burning in the atmosphere is just blazing everywhere. All around them can't get away, Lord. Blessed be the most high, you make highway much straighter. And me the fire say fi burn player hater. Them going down me burning out all the traitor. Me giddy and boot and hammer all the instigator. No me wonder why them IT tighty. How we govern the thing now must God Almighty. Babylon see the powers and not try fighty. That's why the ringy fire now me a feel like the fire burning everywhere. No matter where them run them can't get away. Fire burning everywhere. All evil man of fear scatter away, Lord. Burning everywhere. Glory to the Almighty. Yes, I. Well, time is 80 nowadays, you know. Stay in your lane, keep your distance and all these things. You know? Watch me. See me on the edge, don't push me. I don't wanna lose my step. What a la la. What a la la. Already on the edge, don't push me. Suppose I'm to lose my step. What a la la. What a la la. What? Now is the time to live up, think about the time to die. Another time to give up, now is the time to try. Every nation free live up, time we have this rectify. Sometimes it easy walk, it at times man have to fly. Rastafari stand for truth, I hate it when them lie. Sometimes man a laugh, at times the tears me cry. Sometimes it just a sneeze, another time it just a cough. Saying that them real, them are the realest knock off. See me on the edge, don't push me. I don't wanna lose my step. What a la la. What a la la. Already on the edge, don't push me. Suppose I'm to lose my step. What a la la. What a la la. You detrimental to me. This happen all around. No stay in a me zone if you gonna play around. No flap for one when the danger surround. Some turn to the rest and no, not even a sound. When the ticket bury them sing up in the near. Because us when you jolly, please always be aware. Safety first, prevention better than to go. Don't be stupid, it's an accident, we don't wanna. See me on the edge though. I don't wanna lose my step. What a la la. What a la la. Already on the edge, don't push me. Suppose I'm to lose my step. What a la la. What a la la. Give me the man. You know some days you just wanna be left alone. You need to get your head right on your own. Some things is just wrong. To many it's not known. Going through these phases, a time to feel it down. Rise above your problem, don't you feel it just a test. Always place and time when you have to give your best. There's always a way to counteract the stress. Cause if you take your joy and suppress your happiness. See me on the edge, don't push me. I don't wanna lose my step. What a la la. What a la la. Already on the edge, don't push me. Suppose I'm to lose my step. What a la la. What a la la. One more time. See me on the edge, don't push me. I don't wanna lose my step. What a la la. What a la la. Already on the edge, don't push me. Suppose I'm to lose my step. What a la la. What a la la. My name is Black Kamal, representing for the Ghetto Youth International. See? Much more than respect.
We refuse to be what you want us to be. We are what we are, and that's the way it's going to be. If you don't know, you can't educate I for no equal opportunity. Talking about my freedom, people freedom, and liberty. Yeah, we're treading on the wine press for much too long, and it's time to rebel. Let's recall Bob Marley and Buddy Wailer, sons of 9 Mile, who left for Trenchtown, Kingston, that became the heartbeat of Jamaica's music scene. Our next artist is Samri I, a vibrant Jamaican roots reggae artist. Samri has been present on the local scene since 2015 and also extended his reach internationally after a 17-day tour of Europe in July back in 2016. Songs such as Take Me Oja and African Daughter are hitting the international airwaves and gaining favorable traction. Ladies and gentlemen, let's make welcome Samri I.
Blessings be to the Most High. Through the Almighty we shall find true illumination. In each and every one of us there lies a spirit to do good or a spirit to do bad. Focus on the spirit to do good and the spirit to help others. Because without humility we are nothing. When all else fail, I'll be holding on. Through my trials and tribulations, prayer keeps me strong. Yeah, yes, though Jah road is rocky and the way seems long, there is a light that guides my path is to where I am. I never get weak, I never get scared. Keep my head up, let righteousness prevail. Sometimes flesh and man will failure. I give Jah thanks for all He's done, for I know He is real as the rising sun. As I am down on my knees, Jah is there for me. There is a within my soul, moving forward. Jah is in control. Sweet within my soul, moving forward. Jah is in control. And when my eyes were closed, Jah gave my vision and gave me wisdom to make the right decision. Now as my knowledge increase, Jah is my strength and my provider. And when I am done, Jah never leave me neither. He's always around, keeps me on solid ground. There is a spirit within my soul, moving forward. Jah is in control. gun de Rasta. Black man don't know where you're talking about, so beg your pardon, Mr. Officer. No, I'm a soldier, who's protected by the scriptures. Yeah, and I no see no gun, but I'm looking in the face of a vampire. Rasta, neck can't stay. Black man stop up for slave master. Man, they have to set your people free, peace. My philosophy. Rasta, they can't stay. Black man stop up for slave master. Man, they have to set your people free, peace. My philosophy. Mr. Officer, where you are do this? And I'm not the king of this bar. Him said, don't speak to me, cause I was saved here by the beast. But truly, I man, me like the cut, you let the herbs smoke more. Love hate ugly, let's unite and let the whole world know. Say, Rasta, they can't stop. A man stop up for slave master. Man, they have to set your people free, peace. My philosophy. Rasta, they can't stop. And we no work for slave master. Man, they have to set your people free, peace. My philosophy. Yeah. Hey, willy bang bang, willy bang bang, willy bang bang. But yeah. Hey, willy bang bang, willy bang bang, willy bang bang.
Undoubtedly, the island's capital, Kingston City, is the hub of reggae music. Home to countless recording studios, sound systems, and street dances, as well as a seemingly never-ending production line of talented musicians and artists. A trip to Kingston is a true pilgrimage for lovers of Jamaican music and the lifestyle and culture connected with it. If reggae is the heartbeat of Jamaica, Kingston is its heart.
Reggae grew out of a space where the dispossessed, poor, or oppressed sought escape from a world filled with sweet pain. This world was the inner cities of Jamaica's capital, Kingston Town. Now, as the capital of Jamaica, Kingston then earned the title Reggae Capital. Straight out of Kingston 6, our next act is unafraid, unabashed, committed, and lyrically accurate. Revolutionary, one of Jamaica's reggae revivalists. He is no stranger to the Reggae Wednesday stage. He is a dedicated, well, he said, livicated member of JARIA, always supporting from the inception. I am pleased to welcome him into your homes, your hearts tonight, reggae family. Please, let's welcome Kabaka Pyramid.
Them system is a strain and a mess. I feel it like a pain in my chest. The people need a rest. I feel like I can't breathe in a this a suffocation. The people living in a suffocation. I can't breathe, I can't breathe. When the youths can't write and can't read, many can't spell but that them have we under. Can't tell the man different from woman. Yeah, the people them as well. The food that give we cancer. Jamaica we tell them about the benefits of ganja. Them not like the smell, so we not get no sponsor. Rum and cigarette companies them running rampant. No money now flow. The ghetto get so stagnant. You have be strong like Junior Gang flag man. Can't breathe in a disaster suffocation. The people living in a suffocation. I can't breathe, my feet claustrophobic. Up in the system when no economic growth is. Can't breathe in a disaster suffocation. The people living in a suffocation. Can't breathe. Baby rockers. In the depths of this mental pollution, them want we take a dive. Living in destitution, but still we are survive. In spite of persecution, we humble as a child. But this revolution is of a different kind. We have a different mind. I breathe some different signs, living in a different time. I can feel the frequencies changing around me, Jamaica. We not gonna make them go drown me. Can't breathe in a this a suffocation. The people living in a suffocation. I can't breathe, my feet claustrophobic. Up in a system when no economic growth is. Can't breathe in a this a suffocation. The people living in a suffocation. Babylon's burning down. How you feeling, Jamaica? Boom. Na. This one's for all the politicians, them. Na. Baby rockers now go beg no friend from them. Hey, inna your face, them a smile up. Behind your back, money, them a pile up. Yeah. I can't tire to sing them songs for Jamaican people, you know. What we tell them now? We tell them well done, Mr. Politician, man. You done a wonderful job at tear down my country, demolition man. Skibbly bang, we tell them well done, oh well done, Mr. Politician man. Well, you done such a great job tearing down my country with your business plan. Watch out now, hey, give them a round of applause for all the work you're doing. Decisions where you make we left the country in a ruins, yo. Strictly personal gain you're pursuing, so the tax rate higher than the planes where you flew in now. Figure make them deal with the IMF, I know we're not on backside, no sugar cane left. The hotels and the beaches are the Spanish, them go screeching in, I know how them be, but all my office say is well done, Mr. Politician man. You done a wonderful job at tear down my country, demolition man. Skibbly bang, we tell them well done, oh well done, Mr. Politician man. When am I gonna listen to it? Lord of mercy. What them do now? Them keep poverty and unemployment on the rise, corruption and not to mention the lies. Election and when the tension arrives, so them buy with Kentucky, not to mention the fries. Anything to secure your vote, and then you rob the people to secure your vote. Figure what? Vote Island where the Chinese own, the whole Jamaica is a Chinese loan. We tell them well done, Mr. Politician man. You done a wonderful job at tear down your country, demolition. Watch out now, people. Jamaica have a brand new song for you now. Come and sit and watch the election. And you know it's one thing I learned when I realize over the years. Level. Election time, that's the only time you come around. The only time you make a sound. And you're full of promises, but you never honor this. We not see you till election time. That's the only time you come around. The only time you make a sound. And you're full of promises, but a poverty in your policies. Every time you come around, you tell a bag of lie. We still not see no changes, like as if you never try. Me want to see your resume, me not think you qualify. I better if you get born to kill if you apply for the position of leader, or even all of sizzler. Ganja be legal, not only just make this not. Put it in your cleaner. Back a pyramid, the gun of fire upon the politician. Them were only seen on election time. That's the only time you come around. The only time you make a sound, and you're full of promises, but you never honor this. I will not see you till election time. That's the only time you come around. The only time you make a sound. Give me a one job for the second verse. You know see we broke ya, you know see we broke ya. Listen me no see no. Hold on. Let me see if I can remember the lyrics. A new song, you ready again? Watch ya. Me no see no joke ya. Me no see no reason for me go be no voter. Listen me no bro God. Your policy it no fit with quota. Better me go find a city over Ethiopia. Cause me no want for there you living in a this your colony. No proper education, minimum wage with salary. Want to the computer lab while you no promise me no matter car. Know you are governor still election time. That's the only time you come around. The only time you make a sound. And you're full of promises, but you never honor this. I will not see you till election time. The only time you come around. The only time you make a sound. And you're full of promises, but a poverty in your policies. We tell them well done, Mr. Politician Man. You done a wonderful job out here. More to see the round of applause emoji them right now in the chat right now. See? More to see the clap emoji them for the government. No matter if a Jamaica government, Trinidad, USA, England, anywhere in the world. One more time. And I tell them well done, Mr. Politician Man. You done a wonderful job out here down the country. Demolition Man. Skibbly bang, we tell them well done. Oh, well done, Mr. Politician Man. You have done such a great job tearing down my country with your business plan. Take it away. Big up to JARIA. I've been a member of JARIA for a very long time. And anywhere I go, I tell people to support this organization, you know what I mean? Because we really care about the industry. And if you really care about the reggae music industry, which is Jamaica's #1 national product, then we need to join this organization and strengthen it up. See it? Some cooler vibes now. Kabaka Pyramid is the name and we are the Baby Rockers. Yeah! When it comes to musical thing, I love is all I bring. Kabaka Pyramid, the lyrical sling like King David. And rhythm like these we not play with. Oh Lord. A long time on a DJ in a dance. A long time on a chant in a dance. Me come for nice up the area. Me come for nice up Jamaica. Watch your dread. Dance on sell off. Dance on kick off. It's a laugh. I ain't great sell off. People really see it and awful love. Promoter and imagine awful love. Oh them love. Cha la 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 la. Cha la 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 la. Born and growing in Jamaica. No matter where me go, me nah left ya. Me say me nah left Jamaica. Me coulda never left Jamaica. Skibbly bang, in comes King Kabaka, lyrical champion. Watch me chop up a rhythm like a sword from Japan. So bright up a squint like a real Chinese man. Practitioner of yoga but not Indian. Lyrics them a weapon of mass destruction. Me have nuclear bomb like an American. Can't overstand all the rhymes them so strong. When me dip it, me shift it to the 5th dimension. For chat up on the rhythm that up in my religion. Now you get twist up and flat up like a Brazilian. Pile off your face with the mic in my hand. And then me sip a cup of tea like me come from England. A long time on a DJ in a dance. A long time on a chant in a dance. Me come for nice up the area. Come for nice up Jamaica. Watch your dread. Dance and sell off. Dance and kick off. I agree sell off. Georgie wine sell off. People really see it and awful love. Promoter and imagine awful. Oh them laugh. Sha la 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 la. Let me see the laugh emoji them right now. Watch out. Can't find no park, cause the dance really cock. Gate man a laugh and the cashier a laugh. Can't find a buckle with a cock. Me say me can't find no space to walk. I need a food before the food is sell off. The cane man and him I drink a laugh. Oh them laugh. Sha la 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 la. Oh them laugh. Sha la 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 la. Oh Lord. see, skibbling bang. Come on, come here, come here, again. I tell them once and tell them again. Big up me, JARIA friends. Oh Lord, yeah. How you feel in Jamaica? You don't know. How we have governed each and every acre. Yeah man, Rasta Day and we say reggae music. If you love reggae music, let me see some fire emoji right now, please and thanks. Drop it for me now, baby rockers. Let's go. Original. Well, if the music's so sweet and the people them a dance, I must the reggae music nonetheless. From your proud of reggae music, let me see the hands them. And I say, hey Mr. DJ, play that one again. Well, it's a reggae music. Oh Lord of His mercy. Again. Yes. Well, if the music's so sweet and the people them a dance, I must the reggae music nonetheless. Now but chance Lord. Watch out. And I say, hey Mr. DJ, play that one again. Well, it's a reggae music where the people them defend. From now till the morning, the vibes in our end. Me love to see the uptown, I get a people blend. Hey Mr. DJ, play that one again. Well, it's a reggae music where the people them defend. From now till the morning, vibes never end. Watch out. Well, from your born in Jamaica, there is no escaping it. Reggae music on the top is everybody's favorite. Say you're not gonna feel no pain, even when the bass a lick. This is perfectly natural, and I'm nothing satanic. And if you're born overseas, you need to take a trip, like a pilgrimage to Mecca. How we created it, you want to see some real woman. When up them ways to it, like a musical scientist, I manipulate physics. Hey Mr. DJ, play that one again. Well, it's a reggae music where the people them defend. From now till the morning, vibes never end. I love to see the uptown and get a people blend. Hey Mr. DJ, play that one again. Well, it's reggae music where the people them defend. From now till the morning, vibes never end. Chris, what we tell them? Reggae music make you dance and reggae music make you smile. Skank it to the rhythm from a once and like a child. Bob Marley on the wheel, I send the pattern on the a super cat of lyrics where you flow like River Nile. Big up all the sound, them done been doing it for a while. But come on, copy from it, me leading by your mile. Me take my music round the world. I make the sacrifice to put Jamaica on the top. And when me touch the side, them say, hey, DJ, play that one again. Well, it's a reggae music where the people them defend. From now till the morning, the vibes now go. Come on, copy from it, just set the trend once again. Hey, Mr. DJ, play that one again. Well, it's a reggae music, Nicolina come defend. From now till the morning, vibes now go long. Well, skibbly bang 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 bang, skibbly bang 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 bang. Come on, come here and me down with that brand new slang. I make them know say me and the baby rockers young. We're touching on the street and yes, them off for talk along. And when me touch out of Europe and up on the stage, them sick about a pyramid, the fire off the blaze. And burn up Babylon because we flip another pierce. Red up on your beers, what the Lord? I'm Mr. DJ. That's right. How you feeling out there in the world? It's an international thing, you know. This is not just a Jamaica thing, you know what I mean? And watch out, you see when you see me on the stage, you know, so I got to address certain issues, right? And these are not just Jamaica issues, it's international. You know what I mean? They might kill off the picnic, them at Jamaica. They might kidnap the woman, them in Trinidad. We see them might kill off black people in the US. All kind of things are going on. But you know what I got to do to the whole of them perpetrators there? I trample, we are going to trample them. Give me the rhythm, play me, burn them in a car trample, we are going to trample them right and now. Baby rockers! Okay, right. In the town, I read the fire, Rasta man and burn out. In the town, yeah. I read the fire, Rasta man and burn out. In the town, I read the fire, Rasta man and burn out. In the town. Let me see the fire emoji there. Hey, come here, quick trample them again. Dismantle them again. And clean up all the nastiness from off the resident. Come here, quick trample them again. Dismantle them again. And burn up everything where dirty Babylon did. Come here, quick trample them again. Dismantle them again. Some pedophile, me wonder how them get so prevalent. Make we trample them again. Dismantle them again. Baby rockers make we talk to the child molester. Certain thing we not promote round here. Not even joke round here. No lick up pick no you see and walk in poor
smoke round here. No freaky folk round here. No take no coke round here. If them go drift, then we'll find them body afloat round here. No pedophile round here. Can't touch no child round here. If them go smile round here, them get with vile round here. No touch a style round here. We have missile round here. Blood over flow like river Nile round here. When we trample them again, dismantle them and clean up all the nastiness from off the. Come and we trample them again, dismantle them again, and burn up everything with dirty Babylon did. Come and we trample them again, dismantle them again. Some pedophile, I wonder how them get so prevalent. Come and we trample them again. Oh Lord have mercy, yeah. Watch out now. So we no want them over west, we no want them over east, we no want them in a yard, we no want them overseas. From them touch a little daughter, well we now go over breed. Just string them up alive and make the news reporter see it, and burn them at the stake and don't procrastinate. From children them a rape, them neck get lost a rape, cause them think they win no rate. No bring that to me gate, no tell JARIA about no hate. When we trample them again, dismantle them again, and clean up all the nastiness from off the resin. Come here we trample them again, dismantle them again, burn up everything with dirty Babylon. Come here we trample them again, dismantle them again. Some pedophile, I wonder how them get so preppy. Come here we trample them again, dismantle them again. Oh Lord have mercy, yeah. Hey, the one your name and burn them all way. Be a nastiness them off for bringing on me island, Lord. Burn them all way and burn them all way. Rastafari blessings. Give thanks, you know. Yeah, well, heap of things are going. Line up your next track for me, cause we don't stop burning the fire, you know. You know, so from you see Kabaka prayer, me they see fire, you know, see me dressing on my red. You know what I mean? And a true Valentine's is near, you know. A fire we there for burn. Don't baby rockers. Babylon bridge is burning. Babylon bridge is falling today. Babylon, you're falling down. Me say you're not gonna live to see the morning come. You wicked empire, me a chant it down. Cause you follow Lucifer, the falling sun with the fluttering lips and charming tongue. Most time blessing and you call it down. Cause the people are suffer like dog. When the weeping and the mourning and balling done, them a go get stunned. Them never see it coming like thief in a night. When them cities start burn like weed in a pipe. Blood a flow like river through street. What a sight. Politician in a roll like weed on a bike. Brimstone, fire, earthquake and disaster. Nobody can save you, not even the pastor. We slaughter them like animal in the pasture. Hey, make them know say fire what we call it. And them they never see this in the morning come. You wicked empire, me a chant it. Fire follow Lucifer, the falling sun with the fluttering lips and charming tongue. Most time blessing I call it. For your people are suffer like when they weeping and them never listen. Things are get drastic. From you pull the ocean up a plastic. A mountain of rubbish heap up in the Atlantic. Now get no answers from one, just semantics. Lies them I tell just a stretch like elastic. Building more factories, polluting the air. Still we now get distracted, we moving no fear. Truth it is clear, revolution is near. Dirty Babylon best prepare, cause you're falling down. So you're not gonna live to see the morning. You wicked empire, me a chant it. Cause you follow Lucifer, the calling. With them flattering lips and charming tongue. Most time blessing how you call it. Watch out now then. Hey, and now you tell them say the fire burning red in the earth. See the amount of blood they shed in the earth. You make your bed in the dirt. Baby you should have never desert. Rastafari children them are empress men in that birth. Now a mama Africa oh God left me desert. Now they can't mess up me verse or treasure me verse. Listen to me red and fire in the butt honey. Babylon you're falling. I say you're not gonna live to see the morning come. Wicked empire, me a chant it down. Cause you follow loose the falling sun with the cluttering. Most time blessing how you call it. Cause the people are suffer like dog. Wanna give me done? Level. Watch out. Look how me easy on the track. Fresh in my new wallabies in the black. Baby rock on my team, them on my back. See the brother there in the green, them on the strap. Hey, someone have to walk with it. Have to keep my energy clear, my thoughts vivid. Don't come around me, work your hard business. Don't say you have a little dark spirit. Never name me. Falling sun with the clattering lips. Charming tongue. Most I blessed are your calling. When they weeping and they mourning. On them. Me say me a go done them. Rastafari a done them. And we a love and shun them. Yeah. Babylon bridge is falling. Babylon bridge is burning. Babylon bridge is falling today. Falling today. We're not gonna make them kill off the human race. We have to stand up and fight and do something about it. Because we see the weather change every year. Them say global warming. We see the whole heap of rubbish them are flinging at the ocean. All these things. And yet still them still, artists still sing song about woman for bleach face and man a bleach. And all them something there. You know what I mean? This is Black History Month. It's Reggae Month. Yeah? So when you see Kabaka, you know, say you have to remember your heritage. Especially our black people. Proud to be Africans, right? So this one is especially dedicated to all the women them out there who proud of how you naturally look, you know? Yeah, how the Most High create you. This one is called Natural Woman. Can we do this one, please? Baby Rockers. Natural woman, you are a queen. Now follow back a Babylon regime. Yeah. It's just love, you know? Natural woman, you are a queen. Can I sing for you, please? Natural woman, you are assigned to be old. Beautiful in a whatever color skin you got. You know if you bleach out everything you got and be everything you're not. Natural woman, you are assigned to be old. Glorious in a day here where you're born with. You know if you cream that not put on with. Well, hear me now. Cause when you step in the street, you stand out. Natural beauty where you teach me about, yeah. It's so funny if you see black people bleach and the white people them on the beach at a note, yeah. We're living in this mixed up world, but you are keep it focused, cause your kids come first. You are teach them about self-worth. Beauty is within you, have to love yourself first. Natural woman, you are assigned to be old. Beautiful in a whatever color skin you got. You know if you bleach out everything you got and be everything you're not. Natural woman, you are assigned to be old. No matter what color you know, just be proud of who you are, you know what I mean? You know why? Cause you're a natural beauty. No matter who you are, coulda brown, coulda white, coulda blacker than a tar. Beauty from you know who you are. Nobody do nothing too bizarre. Natural beauty, nothing no need for change. No silicone, now go get it in my range, yeah. But say them think they're kinda strange. We have to take it to a higher plane. Cause if you follow them, you are gonna lose your soul. Don't make them make you lose control. Know yourself, control yourself. Cause all the folly them a do a make Roma melt. I see them screaming and bleating and screaming and teasing the people. Reasons we keep it real. But who can hear them a go feel? Truth was so far I reveal. Say natural woman, you are assigned to be old. Beautiful in a whatever color skin you got. You know if you bleach out everything you got and be everything you're not. Natural woman, you are assigned to be old. Glorious in a day here where you're born with. You know if you cream that not put on with. Shock you. Natural woman, you are a You see, just like when you sing positive music, in these times the odds are stacked against you. You know what I mean? People not just run for support positive music, so It's an unfortunate thing, and it's the same thing. In this time, for the natural woman them, some of the time. But you see, we as Rasta, we love you know what I mean? Never doubt. Natural woman, you are assigned to be old. Beautiful in a whatever color skin you got. You not fi bleach out everything you got and be everything you're not. Natural woman, you are assigned to be old. Glorious in the year where you're born with. You not fi cream that not put on with. Give thanks. Rastafari, no. Yeah. Because really and truly, you know, we're born with everything we need to achieve everything we need in our life. Really and truly. Because when you check the small island of Jamaica, look at all we achieve in this world. With just a few million people, you know. So if you have that belief in your heart, you can achieve anything, no matter the situation. Rastafari said that. Immaculate. Have to believe in myself. Gabby teach me in them speeches. Say without self-confidence, youth you twice defeated. Believe me, Rastafari. Now wait for nobody for tell me say my great. Now wait for nobody for open up a gate. Have to believe in myself. Have to believe in myself. Now wait for nobody for give me motivation. Me have to make it out this sticky situation. Have to believe in myself. Have to believe in myself. All when them a doubt me that coulda never face I. No, and I saw me mother raise I. Self-sufficient, might as well that she name I. So me aim, my limit is the sky. Work me put in that could never be undone. Any task when I get my wrap it up like condom. All when the burden when my beer weigh 1 ton, me have to carry the load because me nah no option. Now wait for nobody for tell me say my great. Now wait for nobody for open up a gate. Have to believe in myself. Have to believe in myself. Now wait for nobody for give me motivation. Me have to make it out this sticky situation. Have to believe. Have to believe. Now watch how them a do me on me own a mission. Now wait for a soul me alone and me done. From here the name Kabaka, you know say man a king in the earth. Me know my worth as a proud African. And Rastafari lead me. For know myself and in a school them never teach me. For grow my well but this a journey never easy. Still me show my strength. So even though I'm slim I lift the weight over the bench. Now wait for nobody. Tell me say my great. Now wait for nobody for open up a gate. Have to believe in myself. Have to believe in myself. Now wait for nobody for give I motivation. Me I go make it out this rough situation. Have to believe. It's all this COVID situation. We go get out tight, you know. We go get out tight. Trust me. Hello. Just give thanks and praises. And when the pressures of life circle round I and I, and them want me go round I and I, still I see I crown I and I, can't confront I and I. Now wait for nobody for tell me say my great. Now wait for nobody for open up the gate. Have to believe. I said I have to believe. Now wait for nobody to give my motivation. Me have to make it out this rough situation. Have to believe in myself. I want to heap of people in doubt me, you know. Enough to go through for reach where we're there right now. I true we believe in ourselves. I'm a team believing in me. I'll be shy, do it to give up on myself. Yeah? Rastafari right now, baby rockers. Jamaica, what we tell them one last time? Now wait for nobody for tell me say my great. Now wait for nobody for open up a gate. Have to believe in myself. Have to believe in myself. Now wait for nobody for give I motivation. Me have to make it out this sticky situation. Have to believe in myself. Have to believe. Give thanks and praise. JARIA, love you.
Kabaka pyramid, keep it burning, and keep it accurate every time. Now, Bob Marley said, if we are going to win the revolution, we have to win it with Rasta. And it can't win the other way. Because our next act has brought the spirit of Rastafari and the energy of reggae global. And him not afraid of nobody. Him do it for the love every single time. He is a reggae revolutionary. Ladies and gentlemen, reggae lovers worldwide, Reggae Wednesdays. Welcome the man from De La Vega, Spanish town, St. Catherine, Jamaica. Let's welcome Chronics.
First. Whoa, 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 yeah. Feeling great now, how you feeling? Really fine too. I got some songs with many meanings. Read between the lines. Nowadays prophecy revealing. When you read the signs, you got to creep before you walk. You got to live before you die. Feeling great now, how you feeling? Really fine too. I got some songs with many meanings. Read between the lines. Nowadays prophecy revealing. When you read the signs, you got to creep before you walk. Ma put my set up on the map. They'll splash, yeah, they'll move. Blaze fire hot, barrel full of crab. Oh, barrel full of crab. Till them coulda stopped. All of them sell a go crack when they crawl at the barrel and reach to the top. All of them should I sell out of my land in a foreign, my show never flop. Sell on the world, I'll already sell it down again and then call them a back. Who could I seek for calm and walk? Share with the wall, I'm a brethren and 50-50. When they drop my pump, me sit up on the mic. Yeah, they'll splash, yeah, they'll move. Pain pan a shot, rise up with something from out of the drum. Place off a hot, man, wake up the granny, me tell her to run. Boy, Yellow Chronicle, the senior, the junior chop, yeah. Where them a go do when time them junior drop? Go tell the baby them get ready, cause I do la come. Them think I yesterday are from your little youth me a chop. Sig a ding 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 ding. When I play ring ding with reggae music, give me ring. Man I tell Jackie, Dilly and Dolly with any rhythm. Now give me no praise, girl, it's Selassie, I'm the king, yeah. Now give me don't play with me, think I'm a top musician. Melody, I'm a weapon, lyrics, I'm an ammunition. Israeli, I Selassie, send me with them on a mission. But I know all them, I gotta get the microphone from out of. Jah never give the power to no. No, Jah will never give the power to no bald man. Oh no, Jah will never give the power, give the power. Give the power to no bald man. Oh, to judge a Rasta man. No. Never. East, original Chronic from Spanish Town, Jamaica, alongside Zing Fence. Yeah. I, now I been get order. Ooh yeah, Jah carry me through everything. I have no fear for anything. Jah gave me all the strength I need to make it through this world I was born in. Rastafari is my peace of mind. Jah, thank you for your loving kindness, for every drop of air I breathe, and for waking me up this morning. And when I trotting in the streets today, Jah never leave my side. And every day the same prayer I say, saying it one more time. Trotting in the streets I pray.
In the streets I pray.
Kabaka pyramids. Never let fire. No. Rastafari.
Inna me going out and inna me coming in, please watch over I. Protect my family when I no localize. When treading through these streets, keep my focus right, no oversight. I back a feel this life is so much life. But with you as my guide and shield, any pain I may feel, time will heal, yeah. It's a joy to know it's sign and seal. Confidence in the victory. Anytime you see the natty treading in the streets.
When we're treading in the streets, yeah, Jaja never leave my side. And every day the same prayer I say. Pyramid saying it to one more time. Treading in the streets I pray, begging you please, never let fire night. Oh, never let fire night. There's so much good in the world and still evil lurks in the darkness at night. Jah protect I and I from the ones who don't care about the fact that we share the same air and the blood that we bleed is a lie. What good is a brother who pretend to love his mother if his actions would make him lose sleep in the night? Dry rivers of tears, oh Jaja here, tuck it in on my waist. Start up the bike, ride out in the streets I pray. Jaja never leave my side. And every day the same prayer I say. Saying it one more time, yeah. In the streets I pray, Jamaica,
worldwide.
Never left fire night. Jaja never left fire night. Kabaka pyramid, my brethren, tell them one psalms a day. One chapter a day. Rastafari, same raising fence. Big up Kabaka pyramid every time. One prayer a day. Chant a meditation every day. Ask the Father to guide I and I. Read it from Spanish town and them feel it. When we did say here comes trouble, we really mean it. Yeah. Good vibration, yeah. That's the positive vibes and we creating, yeah. Sounds that make you feel right, we keep it blazing, yeah. Forever shining this light, keep it blazing, yeah. Forever shining, yeah. Thank the Lord, my cup is full and running over. All who never like we have fell love with now. Baby girl just text me, says she coming home, yeah. When she reach, she want me fit turn off the phone. Turn the lights down low, turn up the stereo, yeah. Alternate Gregory Isaacs, Dennis Brown. Have you ever been in love? Now bad vibes can't stop this good vibration, yeah. Oh, that's the positive vibes he creating, yeah. Sounds that make you feel right, keep it blazing, yeah. Forever she is life. Melodies that touch your soul. They're acting like the people don't need it no more. Still when she hear that good music, she hold me close. She grooving now, I know she feeling it for sure. She moved to me and rest her head up on my shoulder. Soothingly she tell me if you turn up the sound. Have you ever been in love? Now bad vibes can't stop this good vibration, yeah. Oh, that's the positive vibe you're creating, yeah. Sounds that make you feel right, we keep it blazing, yeah. Forever shine this light, yeah. Oh yeah, no. Have you ever been in love? Yeah. Have you ever been in love before? Good vibration, yeah. That's the positive vibe blazing, yeah. Sounds that make you feel right. Give Jah praises, yeah. Shines the eternal light, so we give Jah praises, yeah. Rastafari praises. Reggae music is the best. When it comes to music, your nobody couldn't test. Big up, cover up, pyramid, your lyrical address. Any way you touch the people, them have to sit the depths. Living freestyle and not to dread it comes to step. In my wallabies and them just say nothing. Ace. Doop 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 doop. Big respect to all Massive and Crew scene. Run reggae music scene. Oh yeah. Hey, black eye, black hair, black skin, black queen, stand majestic with the black king. Today I'll sing you a black song. You need to hear about beautiful black things, cause most times we hear about black. We hear about black magic and black witches. Black book, black market, Black Friday, spend off your black riches. Seen a black pill for curing a black people, but I've seen bush doctors like Tosh and Marley resurrect like a real black beetle. Malcolm, Marcus, Martin. When you see Walter Rodney, ask him. Oh, you know hear about how we loved it. So when the little offspring hustling, tell them they never told us that black is beautiful. They never told us that black is beautiful. They never told us that black is beautiful. They never told us. They never told us that black is beautiful. No. You a behave and a go on like you never spent 500 years on a farm too. The same chain you a wear and a go on is another black life in Sierra Leone. Oh, find out Mama Earth got golden. Find out Mama Earth black soul then. Work hard just to get a black card. Same card where you swipe by back your black golden. I see no faces, love. This is not a racist song. Song for the children who was never told about where their race is from. They never hear it in their favorite songs. Everybody come as a slavery's done. But I got one when the babies come and start read about things like Dogons, Black Kemet and Kush, Black Kings, Black Senate and books. We teach about pyramids and put real significance to our physical looks. So every word when we sing, in my world everything. Black, white, black, right back. Don't be surprised if me say me king black. Alias Selassie, I am a king glass. Black is Marcus Garvey, me king glass. Forward ever, no looking back. Yeah, black is beautiful. They never told us. They never told us that black is beautiful. No. No, they never told us. Oh, they never told us. They never told us. They never told us. Preacher is preaching, good God, the things that he preaches. Wonder who taught him to preach every day, every day. Preacher is preaching. Where did he get his degree? Now it is no mystery. Who taught us black history? Gunshot. They never told us black is beautiful. They never told us black is beauty. They never told us that black is beautiful. They never told us. Well, me no business where them feel like say, nor where them want tell we about Jesus say. Them sight us a far right and off the east and settle when the conquering lion and make a speech. Them fret, them always make it seem like it's the heads of government. And of them around the world, the high priest them wet. Live in the mountain and only feed palm bread. Only the lesson where mother nature teach them get. Them a rule the earth and a president where I fling the little youth them in a penitentiary. Brainwash them before them even reach elementary. Them now no love and me see it clearly. 2020, Babylon split the atom and reach the bottomless pit. And I got hear that on television or on Netflix though. Things fix. East. They never told. Yeah, I tell you say that. Run our next reggae music scene. Big respect to our Massive One crew who is watching and all the people globally celebrating Reggae Month. It's an honor to know that our music and our indigenous sounds are being celebrated across the world. Seeing it is for us though to celebrate it as a lifestyle and as a culture so that we can know that we have a culture that is indigenous. Seeing? So big respect to all the youths watching, all the young musicians who are watching, all the young writers, you don't know, all the young creatives who are watching. Keep your culture alive, keep your spirituality alive, because what else could be our work as cultural people than to keep a culture alive and guide the evolution of it, because it must evolve, you know. But we have to, the evolution must be guided, you know what I mean? And it must be deliberate and it must be, you know, based upon what we need. It shouldn't be a guy now I tell you, oh, if you evolve or saying. Run reggae music. Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah. All DJs, big up on yourself. Easy, roll out the cool as a breeze. While it look like a science book, swear I school me I got teeth. Rev the truck up to the mountain top, and as soon as we reach it, go get the skunk, kick the shoes off my feet, then I bless the cup, 32 songs me read. Give thanks for the love me receive, me work every day, in the street, every day, and with nights like these. When a holiday, touch from the beach, white t-shirt and a cut off jeans, and when I need no sneakers, no. Sun grains and massage my feet, my locks long like Jesus. Locks. The sun burning up till it red. Welcome to Kingston every day. It's a summer every night, feel like a Friday. Oh yeah, rev the bike till them swear. It's on my high grade, I make what I rev. Still not already, I feel like all the things every night and Friday. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Well, general, I the touch of with me. I'm an empress, I'm a brother, them the rolling a stranger. Earth's pretty like an emerald. One pump, several in the chalice, profit up my Babylon to the vapor. Tell them not ready for the energy. We bring in every style where them a follow. Yes, how we are the maker. Spending like I run, I think I bolt when I come. Remember every day I summer when the day of Jamaica. Hold on up, baby. This place kinda crazy. Everybody a dance, catchy energy. Everybody a dance, catchy. I grade on the reggae music. Rastafari keep it grooving. Whole world a briefly touchdown in the West Indies. Oh no, sun burning up, no. Welcome to Kingston, yeah. Every night feel like a Friday. When you rev the bike till them say, I read the make me irate. And I still when I ready, oh yeah, every day in the street, every day and nights like these. When a holiday, touch on the beach, white t-shirt and a cut off jeans, and we no need. Locks long like Jesus locks again. La 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 dance up. La 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 in the morning, dance all night in the evening. Sun burning up till it red. Welcome to Kingston, every day is a summer, every night feel like a Friday. When the bike to do swear is a high grade, I make where I read. Still when I go ready, I ain't nobody call every night a Friday. Oh yeah, the sun burning up till it red. Welcome to Kingston every day, yeah. Every night feel like a Friday. When you rap the bike till them swear, yeah. Great, I make we high rate. And I still when I go ready, Original Chronics from Spanish Town, Jamaica. Jah love live forever. Jah love is eternal. Love.
What a show, sweet! Wow, what a music full of meaning. Reggae music comes from a tradition of rebellion, protest, a music of the oppressed, the people's sound, and it has been a pleasure sharing message music with you tonight. JARIA is a non-profit organization dedicated to the preservation and promotion of Jamaica's music. We encourage all artists, musicians, producers, engineers, publicists, event promoters, all of you, to become a member of JARIA by visiting the website at www.jariaentertainment.com. I use this opportunity to big up the JARIA board led by Chairman Mr. Johan Simpson and the Reggae Month Committee led by JARIA Reggae Month Chair Abishai Hoylett. Now, JARIA remains committed to educating the world about this music that has made so much impact on the world. Now, come tomorrow, Thursday, February 11 at 6 p.m. Mark it down in your calendars. We continue our Reggae Month Open University series with a conversation on reggae and rebellion, exploring the world of reggae across the world in the fight for equality and justice, moderated by Professor Carolyn Cooper. We want to thank all of our sponsors, the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sports, the Ministry of Tourism, Chase Fund, Starlight, JTB, TEF, CPTC, Java, JCDC, Reggaeville, Rhythm Agency, Surf for Reggae and the Reggae Festival Guide, M1 Production, Creation Foods, Ashanti Oasis, and SR Rehearsal Studios. We also want to thank the many artists for sharing their talent and time, and for the service providers who made this possible. Special thanks to the production team, members of the Reggae Month Committee, and the JARIA board for taking Reggae Month 2021 to us virtually. Make sure that you follow us on all our social media pages at JARIA Entertainment and on our website at jariaentertainment.com. See you next week. I'm Debbie Bissoon. Stay blessed.
Jamaica, the land of Bob Marley, Marcus Messiah Garvey, Usain Bolt, and of course, Reggae Month, the only month-long reggae music festival on planet Earth, where something reggae happens every day in the month of February, ranging from mega reggae concerts, reggae award ceremonies, and educational symposia on reggae. February is Reggae Month. Reggae Month is February, when Jamaica invites the world to come to Mecca, Reggae Mecca, and come catch the rhythm like no place else on earth, only in Jamaica.
And that's how I made to give him the go. Breathe, I'm delighted. Jano say my passion ignited. Got the music get me excited. I'm coming like a boss.
Reggae is global. Reggae is everywhere.
Yeah, reggae is my life, you know, because I went to reggae ministry, I walk out saying that or something.
We have something which the world crave even right now. Reggae is internationally known.